Baseball's Triple Crown is freaking awesome. All right, make no mistake about it. It's awesome. The batting average of 316 isn't the greatest thing ever, but hey, it's the modern era of baseball, right? 60 home runs, as I've said, only 3 guys, all Yankees, have done it in the history of the American League. But what makes it even cooler, what makes it even better, is the fact that Aaron Judge did 2 things. And I'm going to keep talking about it. Number 1, he bet on himself. Imagine this, and I want you to think about this before you say, well, of course. Imagine you're offered $200 and some million to play a sport in New York as a Yankee. Okay. And you're going to say no to that. Now, hear me out here. In a sport where 162 nights you have the opportunity to tear an ACL, pull a groin, an Achilles, a stomach muscle, oblique, lower leg, anything that you read about, you could do that could keep you out, 10 days to 60 to a year. But you're going to bet on yourself. Now, I don't think that Judge, if he had a mediocre year, he's not going to have a bad year, but if he had a mediocre year, I don't think the Yankees would have pulled that deal. But I do want to say this, turning it down. Now, people say you shouldn't do things for money. I go back to 2002. I was a head coach at West Virginia. They were cheating. They were lying. They were doing all these things. I was making about $100,000 as the head coach at Bowling Green. They were going to pay me 7 years, $500,000 minimum, incremental bonuses, incremental raises, that kind of thing. And I knew I had to leave. I did. I knew I had to. I couldn't work for these people. But when it really came down to it, I had to think about saying no to the money. Ultimately, I did. Never looked back. But I had to think about it. That's not 200 and some million, but I got to tell you, as a man with a young family, a young wife with 2 young kids, you got to think about those things. And as I look back on it now, I'm like, wow, how much money would I have in the bank right now if I would have taken $3.5 million instead of going back to Bowling Green? I got it up to 125, but 5 years later, I was out looking for a job. Turning down that kind of money, I know we see it all the time. I know we do. I would too. When I talk about Lamar Jackson, yeah, I'm betting on myself. That's fine. But man, oh man, when you got to say no, when you've got to say absolutely, positively no to that kind of money, God bless you, man.